Hey, yo, what's going on, good people? It's your boy Taz coming at you with a new segment here on the Never Game Alone channel called the Saturday Morning Anime Lineup. Now, we'll be visiting current and old anime that could be running or previously did run during the Saturday morning lineup, like expanding from the 90s on up, and even some shows that just generally played out through the daytime. But one we'll be going over is a favorite of mine, Fighting Foodons. But you know, I'm not gonna just jump right into it, you know what I'm saying? We gotta hit you with that intro, let's go.
Perfect.
So for those of you who actually did watch the show, and those of you who didn't, man, like Fighting Foodons is really a blast from the past. But you know, don't let me just say it. Let me show you this. Let me just show you this clip. You'll see. Let's watch.
Here's something incredible. These monsters once were edible, so everybody take a look at combat creatures you can cook. Fighting Foodons, tornado racing screen. Fighting Foodons, this is really neat cuisine.
So I mean, with that clip right there, you can easily see why Fighting Foodons was, you know, a hit, or just the nostalgia of it. But really at its core, what was Fighting Foodons? I mean, basically Fighting Foodons, or Bistro Recipe in its original, you know, title, Japanese manga, anime, and video game, which we didn't actually get over on the West Coast, was surprisingly just kind of what it looks like, a third-rate version of the popular thing at the time, which was the gotta catch 'em all, you know, uprising with Pokemon. So I mean, you got Digimon successfully competing with it on a second tier stage, and then what's this slips under the radar, you know, Fighting Foodons. But Fighting Foodons was still great, even though it was short-lived. It only got one season. The manga only got 2 volumes, which I never personally read, but it still was so great. I mean, you have so many likable characters. The story's kind of weird, but it's crazy to see how these different creatures come to life and you don't understand what they are, but they follow the same plot like a Pokemon. They say their names. They're a little more on the, they're not so friendly towards not attacking people, because they would, you know, Pokemon won't do that, but Fighting Foodons, like they'll do whatever they need to do as long as they're summoned out, and whoever controls them, that's what they're gonna do. Like they don't have much of a compass, but they're food. But some of the Foodons were amazing. You got our boy Sir Dumpling, Fried Ricer. You got Omelette, who's the main character's kind of version of Pikachu. You got Shrimp Daddy. I mean, my country cousin Hot Dog Garnet, you know what I'm saying? But what is actually Fighting Foodons? Like, what's the plot of Fighting Foodons? Well, since you asked so nicely, I'll tell you. It all started some years ago when a culinary confused king asked the question to his chefs, which will be stronger, stuffed tofu or stuffed duck? The king's chefs thought the king had gone just a little too heavy on the nutmeg, you know, like, oh, he'd been sipping a little something, so he might be off his rocker a little bit. But actually, one of his mysterious chefs knew exactly what the king was talking about, and he presented him with a magical card called the meal ticket, which turned the food into monsters, fighting monsters. You get it? The trope. Pokemon, Digimon, Foodon, fighting monsters. You get it. I don't need to say much else. And since that day, regular food recipes have been turned into Foodons when the art of culinary combat had first been created. But I'm saying, like, what is a meal ticket? This is something that they never actually explain how meal tickets come into existence. It's just, oh, this one random guy was like, hey, I have a card. You put it on the food, it turns into a monster, you make it fight. That's how you decide which is the stronger meal. But then one day, King Gorgeous Gorge and his gluttons cook up this devious plan to rule the world, and they sprinkle a little extra dash of destruction into it. And then that's where our story later on transitions into the Revolutionary Army, or those who are opposing King Gorgeous Gorge and its leader. The show follows his son Chase and his younger sister and friends along the way as they try to overthrow this evil uprising in the world and make things right, set things back into their original format. And it's kind of interesting to see, because you never know what type of Foodons will be created. As I listed a few in the beginning, you know, Omelette is Kayla, Jack's daughter, her Foodon, or like the mascot to Fighting Foodons, like Pikachu is, which kind of didn't roll over. So, you know, it didn't roll over the same. I mean, that's Pikachu and this is a little Omelette thing. But you know, just the same, Foodons aren't just like, oh, food meals that fight each other. Yes, they are the exact same like Pokemon. They have different elements, different things they do, or different things that combat one another or counter each other, just like Pokemon do. I mean, it's so many different similarities to Pokemon. But I mean, you think about this show in its essence, like, it's food. And while you're watching it, there was one thing that always piqued my mind. I'm like, yo, does anyone ever actually eat food? Like, do they ever eat the Foodons? Because they are technically food. I mean, if you got hungry enough, but that's neither here nor there. But overall, I thought the show was always great, short-lived. I wish I would have had a chance to play the video game. I'm pretty sure I could find the video game if I wanted to, but I didn't. I won't. So, but the evil Foodons, man, like it just never ceased to amaze me how weird they were, how crazy they looked. Oops, I hit my mic again. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't Pokemon, but you know, it was still a good show. So if anybody in the comments down below, if you ever actually saw Fighting Foodons, or Fighting Foodons was a show that you actually enjoyed, you know, let us know. Leave us a thumbs up if you did. You know, leave us a thumb down if you didn't. You know, we appreciate the honesty. It's all good. Nothing bad. We harbor no ill will. But on the next Saturday morning show, I will be doing Ultimate Muscle. You know, Kanikuman, Kid Muscle, the Butt Buster, Millennium Buster. I'm gonna quit saying Buster before I get busted. No, let me stop. But you know, man, I'll holler at y'all next time. Thank y'all for coming through, watching the video. Y'all be blessed and have a good one. Peace.